Hello everyone, welcome to Bargain Gaming, where we can play excellent games without busting our wallets. This episode will be dealing more on economics, and the reason is that like our current empire is like we have 121 cities, and if we look at the region in terms of regional control, we now have maybe about close to maybe almost half, or at least a third of the world. Like this, right? This is the Caspian Sea on the right side with the red color, and we have most of the Caucasus, and this is I think most of Bulgaria, Poland, all kind. And so the only part here is this part, and the right side is not really the edge of the map. It's not that far back, because if we go look at our, see, this is the edge of the map, right? This is the Caspian Sea, and so if we look at our empire all the way to the right, you will see that the edge of the map is about just right here, and I would think it's the same thing also here on the right, on the left. So we are totally not into Germany and France. We are starting to make some foray into Russia, Kiev. We are totally not in the Scandinavian countries, Britain. So let's say we're a third. We occupy a third of the world map, and therefore dealing with 121 cities, it's actually very complex. It gets very complex when we're trying to balance out our cities. And a case in point is like this city. And the best way to make sure that our towns are balanced, the easiest way is to check on their travel routes. And like Marek Zabeski, or whatever how it is spelled, Zawadzki. So Marek Zawadzki, yes, this is his trade route, and in the past, his trade route was earning between 70 to 80,000 gold per round, and that is exactly the same trade route that we currently has. Now but right now we are seeing that this income that he's going to make from this is down to 4,500, and so it's very easy to start losing money very quickly. And the reason for this was that because we have such a huge empire, like if we go all the way out, see, we have such a huge empire all the way down here. Sometimes it is easy to kind of miss certain trade routes. So that's why it's always important to always look at these, no, not always, look at these trade routes from time to time. So we are like, this one is like, so this is a relatively new trade route. Remember, this is part of Turkey on this side. So this was Constantinople over here, and so this is Turkey, and this is the Middle East. So that one now because I was concentrating on it to beef up the cities. That is why it's making more money. So anyway, going back to this city over here, like I said, is that because this is kind of getting pretty mature, so, and I have not tweaked them. And the reason is it's not making that much money is because there's no trade going on, simply because they're all fully mature, so they're only trading items that they manufacture. And so what I have done is and also because if we're not doing anything on these cities, so things kind of tend to build up, like logs, bricks, and food, grain, kept building up. And then what happened was that Carnation East, this city, went into a what do you call this, depression, because no new jobs are being opened. So they became very mature. And so a quick fix to that is to start building again. Every time we build, like in this case, so that's why to cure this, I started building. I just went on a building splurge, right? So we are building one metal, three tools, and two pump machine. And over here, we're all starting to build out again. And this will get the economy going again. And so that's why the whole cycle is you force them to build, and so they lack materials, so they will now import stuff back and forth. So there's more movement, and our trader can trade more. Remember when the materials are in demand, like even like if we just look at bricks and wood, it costs $68, 68 gold pieces per barrel. But in a normal situation, like over here, at equilibrium, it is only 40 gold. So even the cheapest items are worth a lot. And in terms of palm for like a country over here, like a town over here, that has almost has palm is like it's worth 806. But over here, which manufactures palm, it is only selling for 229, and that's no, 630. Okay, it's selling for 630. Sorry. So that's why as soon as the city kind of settles down, then it grows tired, and prosperity goes down, and so we need to keep on building so that because then the problem is once it settles down and we're not building new businesses, people keep coming into town, right? In this situation, people keep coming into town until we have so much excess workers, free workers, so that then we get problems, and then so then recession sets in because we have too many people, but there are not enough jobs for them, and so recession sets in, and prosperity goes down, and then people start leaving town. One example is over here. This town suffered a recession, and now it requires 131 people because people left. It went all the way down to 30. I think recession drops it down to 30. And it happened here also. Like this one is experiencing a recession, right? And it has lost like 255 workers. So now that's the workers. So apparently there are, so it's losing 8 workers a week, and this is only after we cured it, because the recession hit a bottom of like maybe around 30, and then I noticed that's why then I started curing it, and so it's going back up again, and that's why the game gives us this symbol. So it's important to start to always check on our regularly to check on our workers, and so that's why like this, I was really surprised. What happened? And so they have very different. This one is. Oh, okay. This is just a new route. No, this is an old route. See, now this one is actually losing money. Jeez, Luis, because of that recession. And so that's why it's not making any money, and all it is doing is the maintenance cost is costing it so much money. But what I have done is I have placed a separate trader here to solve the situation. So to move around stuff, to bring needed materials like wood and bricks to other cities, and so it allowed the cities to start building businesses. Like here, it's starting to build businesses. Here is starting to build businesses. Here is also starting to build businesses. But the problem is that we have lost so many workers. Like there are like 255 negative workers, and so that's a problem. And wow, so that's why that is something we have to keep in mind, and that's what happens in a recession. So that's the other thing is that in a recession, people go away and factories are no longer being operated. Like this one over here, see all of the factories have a red tag, like a red exclamation point. That means because people left the town and this town's economic prosperity went down to about 30%. We lost over 200 people here, or close to 300 people, and only now is it recovering. The problem is, so these are businesses that are not being operated, and so right now we are there. It's on an upswing, so that's good, and it will start attracting more people into town. So now in terms of when we're checking for our how a town is well balanced or not, again we rely on the trading route. So like these, it shows us which ones are doing well, which ones are doing not very well. So this one is doing pretty well, but again, I'm keeping it. What do you call this? You will see that there's always construction going on. Now the other thing is how to see if a town is well balanced or not, or I mean the businesses in town are well balanced or not. The key would be check on this town. Like let's look at again. It's always do it based on the trader. So we have this group of towns over here. So there are 5 towns being managed by this trader. So when we look at the town, we can go R1 all the way to consumption. So this town shows that the trader is servicing 5 towns, right? So this on the fish side, this town is producing 880, meaning it has currently it has 22 factories producing fish. So 880, that means each factory is producing about 40 barrels of fish a week. So that means this town is producing 40 barrels of 40 barrels. Each factory produces 40 barrels, which totals 880, and the consumption by the town is only 206, like here. So a very rough estimate would be, let's say if there are 5 towns, and because some of the trade routes are interlocking, meaning like these 2 towns over here are also being, these 3 towns are also being serviced by another, like this one. So like these 3 towns are being serviced on another route. So it's not so there are just be aware that there are interlocking routes if you do create them or you do make them. So but assuming if there are no, I'm not assuming if there's no interlocking towns. So like this town produces 880 barrels of fish every week, and it consumes 206. If there are 5 towns, then in theory, if all of the towns have the same population size, then the demand is about 1,000, right? 5 towns times 206, we have 1,000. Is the requirement, or is the requirement for fish along that trade route? Of course, the population bases are not different. This is 11, this is 6, this is 9, this is 11, and this is 8. So that's okay, but that's a quick calculation to see whether give us an indication as if we are producing enough. At this point in time, we seem to be producing close to enough. So what I'm increasing is only by 10%. And so even if we start to go into an oversupply basis, it's not gonna hurt too much. So that means we will another two factories will produce 80 barrels more. So we will be talking about 960. So if you like to really crunch the numbers, this is a good way to look at it. And you can just add up all the town's requirements, right? Like here, consumption, the fish consumption here is 100. Here it was 200. And then over here it is 170. So you can do those individually if you like to crunch numbers. For me, I don't do that in the sense that by pulling L2, we see that this is the only town that produces fish. So what I do is do a quick check by looking at the second hop. This is the farthest for this town, for Port Petunia, is this town or this town. So there are no fish producers here. If I look at this town on the trade side, see, they are barely getting a barrel's worth of fish. So that means, and how about this town? They're also getting, they're getting almost close to a barrel's worth of fish. And that is the reason why I am increasing it by about 10%. And here, if we look at this town, they're getting almost a barrel's worth of fish. And also here, they're getting definitely a barrel's worth of fish. That's 583. So there is room for more demand. So that's why I'm only increasing it by 2 barrels. Now, we can do that with the same with ham. Let's say if we're looking at ham, and we look at this town again, and we look at, it has very little ham, 44 ham. How about here? No ham. So that means we can be more aggressive in producing ham. Or in this case, I'll use I interchange ham, bacon, the same. So I am pushing for 4 more factories to produce ham or bacon. And since ham requires salt, so every time I produce 4, I will produce 2 more salt. And the reason is from this. Again, you can see the by looking at the consumption side, in salt, we're producing 570 out of how many? Out of 19. 19, that's about 30. Yeah, 30 times 9, or 70. How 570? 30. So if that is divided by 35, that's 1, that's 27, that's 19, right? So that's so that's 30. So that means each factory produces 30 barrels of salt. So if we are producing, and we look at the consumption side, if we're producing, ham is, so it requires, that's 280. So this 280 number represents the amount of salt required to produce 280 ham. And so if we are building, so that means we are producing 10 barrels of ham. So we're producing, with additional 4 factories, we are producing 40 more barrels of ham. So that means we will need to produce another 40 barrels. So 580 plus 40 more barrels. 280 plus 40 barrels means we're producing 300. We will require 320 barrels of ham to cover the new production, because we added 4 more factories, right? So, right, that's 28, correct, 28. So we're now 32 with 320. And again, I go by the same rough estimate. If there are like 5 cities that's being serviced by this trader, so that means you're talking about roughly 500 ham necessary. So 500 plus 320, you're talking about 800. So we're definitely short on salt, right? So that's why I am producing, on that basis, I'm producing 2 more barrels, or 2 more factories, and that will additionally add another 30 times 2 plus 60 more. So we'll be talking about 630 barrels versus the need. So so that means there's no way we can overproduce ham, because first things first is this has no ham at all, and this one has a little bit of ham, and this guy has a little bit. Oh, he's got 1 barrel's worth of ham. So each town apparently needs about 100 barrels of ham, and so we can keep on pushing for more ham. And ham needs wood because we need to we need to soak it. So automatically I kicked up wood production by 2, and just for since everybody needs, like this case, everybody needs brick, right? As a matter of course, for maintenance, for repair work, whatever, what's happening. So it requires 206 for this town. Since there are 5 towns, we require at least 1,000 bricks just to cover maintenance requirements. So that leaves a skinny 200 per week, and so that's not good. So what if we suddenly need to build up our facility? So it makes sense to kick it up by maybe 2 more. You know what? 2 more. Yeah, 2 more. 2 more. Okay. So that means, yeah, we're growing pretty fast because we're serving everything. So that's one way of trying to balance the production within the trade route of each trader. So again, it will be focused on the trader. Another thing that we did was that, like in this case, since all of these towns are landlocked on this side, right? So they do not have access to ham. All of these towns over here, they are landlocked, right? And so what I did is I got the trader, the one who's running this trade route here, the 4 cities over here, to expand his city by 1 so that we can deliver salt to this one. So once this has salt, what we did was in the warehouse menu, we put salt, we highlighted salt, so that means it will encourage the trader to deliver more salt. So the concept of the warehouse is, it says select up to 5 commodities that are to be stored in a town for resale. So that's why by doing that, we encourage traders to bring more salt into town. And so right now, this town can produce ham, and it is producing ham. And so we have brought this into this town. So that is something that we did. And like another example is these 3 cities, 1, 2, 3. They don't have access to tools, and the only tool capable of making tools or pump is way out here. So what I did is the trader that is servicing this 3 cities, like this one, I think. So he will 1, 2, 3, and then jump all the way here and go all the way back. So that's a longer route, but at least now these 3 cities have access to pump and also access to tools. Same with these, like these cities over here, like this route. See, because originally these 4 cities have no access to pump or pump and tools. So what I did is I made the trader travel both ends to increase access to tools and pump. And this trader, what's his name? Invika Karadik. Let us check what he is. Mika is M. Mika K. No, this is N. Mika. No, he's not here. How come we're not seeing him? Here. Ivica. So I said, so Ivica Karadzic, because of his trade route like this, see, it's grossing over, it's grossing us over 258,000 for that route, and the guys that are in the city here also, they're doing pretty well. Like this one is doing what's his name? Radek Katni. Radek Katni. He's doing 168. And these cities are also being serviced. There are other traders here that are doing, like this city is also being, Sofia and Sofia North are also being serviced by this guy. So despite that, despite the overlap, both are making pretty good money. Is it this guy? And then these two cities also, there are overlaps on these routes, and yet they're still making good money. The reason I'm doing those is that, like, this is like they sell fish here, and then some of these do not have fish. So Sofia has no access to fish. It's like it needs 2 hops to get to Sofia, and this one is also selling fish. Now there are more fish involved. So that's why I do some interlocking so that, like in this case, because of all the interlocking, Sofia has access to a lot of stuff. So they're only missing on coal, textiles, ham, and salt. And that is the reason why here I am boosting ham by 4 more factories, salt by 2 more. Similar to the one that when I was talking about up here. Anyway, so those are more detailed ways of balancing your city production so that your traders continue to make money. And always check on them. I cannot overemphasize this. Always check on them on a regular basis to see if they continue to do well or not. Okay, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you will join me in my regular series. Bye.